Do you feel like your wife is constantly knocking you down? Are you tired of feeling unwanted and unappreciated? Well, brother, you're in the right place. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a marriage hack to get your wife to start respecting you in no time. Now, if we haven't met each other before, my name's Luke Finn and I'm the founder of the ARC system, which has helped hundreds of dads avoid divorce and reconnect with their wife. Now make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel and smash the bell button to be notified each Tuesday when I release a new video. And be sure to stick around to the end of this video to get the opportunity to enroll in my free masterclass. In the free masterclass, we're going to look at the secret to reconciling that no one else is talking about and the 4 steps you need to take for your wife to see your change. Now, with all that being said, let's dive right in. So first off, let's take a look at why is your wife being disrespectful. I guarantee you when you first got with your wife, there was plenty of love and there was plenty of appreciation. So your wife hasn't always been like that. So something must have changed. And what changes, guys, is issues have stacked in your relationship. They weren't addressed in real time, so they piled up and resentment piled up. It's all stacked up in your relationship. And that's basically leads to a lot of issues in the relationship. And what doesn't help is, to be brutally honest with you, you're lacking confidence and you don't have the communication skills currently to rebuild that emotional safety in the marriage so you guys can reconnect. And being brutally honest again, your wife is insecure. The reason this is happening is she's insecure and her communication skills also sucks. And instead of addressing the issues in the relationship, what ends up happening is you end up attacking each other's characters. So in the past, you used to look at resolving issues in the relationship. You would talk about the issues in the relationship. But now what happens, it turns quickly into a shit show where you start saying about how she is bitchy, how she doesn't care and she's cold. And she says that you're never around and that you don't care. So you're having a go at each other's characters, guys. And this is where it gets really personal. And this is why you end up having a shit show. And this leaves you both feeling frustrated and stuck. And this is not where you want to be. And so you're in the right place. We're going to get this handled today. And we're going to get it handled using the ARC system. As I said, I'm the founder of the ARC system. And this has helped hundreds of dads reconcile from some of the most dire situations. And I get messages every single day from loads of guys just like yourself watching this video who are not clients but just watch the video like I'm going to be teaching you today, showing you today. And I get these messages about how they go and save their marriage just by watching these trainings. So this is why you want to really pay attention, get a pen and paper today, because I'm going to be sharing with you the exact steps that my clients have used to go and save their marriage. And also guys that are watching my videos, the steps that they use to go and get their wife to start respecting them. So let's get into it, guys. The marriage hack for disrespectful wives. And what I call it is, I call it the EMT hack. I'm going to go into exactly what EMT means briefly. So I can actually share with it now. It's EMT stands for emotional, mindset and tactics hack. So I'm going to give you a little framework of how you can start working and communicating with your wife more effectively to bring back the respect in the relationship that you deserve. Now, a golden rule, guys, as we get into this video is you cannot fight fire with fire. Write this down. This is so important because this is a big mistake that a lot of men make is when your wife's getting irate and she starts calling you names, what usually happens, right? You feel personally attacked, you get defensive, and you usually go at her as well. You go on the offensive, you call her names, and it turns into this shit show. You cannot do that. Your wife has got a lot of resentment right now. There's a lot of venom in the words she's saying. You are not going to make any progress with her if you match her. So you match her and you sink down to that level and start calling her names and giving her abuse, having a go at her character. That's not what you're going to do. What you need to do is follow these exact tactics to rebuild the emotional safety in the relationship and to rebuild that respect, the mutual respect that's required in the relationship. So let's first off look at this EMT, so emotions, the E from the EMT hack. The first thing that you need to do when your wife starts getting irate is you need to stay calm, right? So take a deep breath in, relax. When your wife is getting irate and being disrespectful, you don't need to take this personally. This is showing you that she just doesn't know how to regulate her emotions and she's taking that on you. You're probably feeling like public enemy number 1. That's okay. Let me know in the comments, guys. Drop public enemy number 1 if you're feeling this way. It's okay. We'll get this handled today on the video. The biggest mistake that we make as men when our wife starts giving us abuse is we get defensive and we start fighting back. This is not what you need to do. You need to relax, sit back, and take some deep breaths. And that's the second step here, guys, to your emotions. Basically, you're going in, when your wife comes at you with all this fire, you go into fight or flight, right? And this is not useful. This is useful. We need this mechanism if our life is in danger. It's a very important mechanism. We don't want that mechanism to go away. But it's not useful in the case where your wife is giving you abuse. The fight or flight is kicking in. Your concentration, your focus narrows. You cannot think broadly. Your heart rate goes up. And who's had this experience? Let me know in the comments, guys. Who's had this experience when they get into an argument with their wife or with anyone, that you cannot think so clearly? You get, your focus gets really narrowed. You maybe get stuck on like one point, and you just aren't. You don't have so much clarity because you're ready to fight. You should to either fight or run, right? So what you need to do is just take deep breaths in. It's really simple. Deep breath in, deep breath out. You're literally sending the opposite signal to your brain, your nervous system, letting it know, hey, I'm okay. This is how you're going to calm yourself down. Really important. Very simple, but extremely powerful. And then you can say to yourself in your head when things are starting to get heated in the argument or the discussion, just kind of say to yourself, I am safe. Repeat it in your head, I am safe. I am safe. Take a deep breath in. Everything is okay, guys. So I know you're having a difficult time in your life, but by learning these techniques, you're going to calm yourself down and you're going to be so much more resourceful. All right. Now let's move on to the second step in the EMT hack, which is mindset. The first thing here is when your wife is getting irate, you need to know that she needs your help. She really doesn't know how to regulate her emotions, and you don't need to take this personally, and you can be curious. You want to find out what's going on for her. And it's not about being right or wrong, guys. It's about understanding. Like, we can all be a hot mess. We're emotional human beings. And what we do not want to do is disqualify your wife's emotions or your own emotions. We want to validate. All of our emotions are valid. We should feel them, communicate our emotions, and not to be hearing it's not okay to feel that way. That's not what you want to be hearing from your partner. But at this point, with your wife with all this resentment, is you're the one that needs to step up in the relationship and start role modeling what it looks like to validate emotions, to be there, to be the leader in the relationship. All right. So really important. It's not about being right or wrong. I know when you get into a fight, you want to be like, hey, this is what happened. You start getting into the details. Like, that is not what happened. This is what happened, because you want to be right. But it doesn't matter. When you get a really disrespectful wife and there's a lot of resentment in the relationship, it's kind of crazy, guys. You don't want to get into trying to do facts and going back into the past, into the details, and just showing her that she's wrong. That's not going to help you move forward. You just need to relax, sit back, and follow these tactics. And you want to be brave. You want to address the issues. So many men, especially when the wife's being disrespectful, they start like thinking, oh my God, I don't want to rock the boat. I've had guys come into my program, like Dennis came into my program. He was scared shitless coming home because his wife was calling him horrendous names, right? Or Kevin, who he felt like his wife was just throwing stones at him. He started following this EMT hack that I'm teaching you guys today, and within a couple of weeks, their wives turned around and started being respectful. There was peace in their home. They could feel the love and the connection again. So, and one of the things, what was difficult for most of my clients is being brave, right? We have it in our mind that, oh, it's just better to just brush it under the rug, brush it under the carpet, don't acknowledge the issues. I just don't feel like having another argument with her. She looks like she's in a bad mood. Anyway, no, man, this is not how you're going to move forward. You got to be brave and address the issues. It's not okay for your wife to be calling your names, right? And at the same time, you take 100% responsibility for your stuff, but you do not need to take responsibility for your wife's stuff. If your wife is acting batshit crazy and calling you all these bad names, it's not your responsibility to fix it. You have to realize your wife has her own issues. You can coach her by using these techniques that I'm teaching you today. You can coach her, give her space, help her feel validated that she can start doing the work herself. But brother, your responsibility is to yourself. Your wife being disrespectful, that's on her, and it's because of her own trauma. We all have our own trauma that we need to heal. You're doing it now, watching these videos, and you can help your wife along that path, but it's not your responsibility to fix your wife. Your only responsibility is to work on yourself. All right, so that's the mindset. Now let's look at the tactics. This is where it gets really interesting. So once you got your emotions dialed in, you're feeling calm, your mindset's dialed in, you just need to be curious and listen to understand. then you want to use these tactics. So when your wife comes at you and is getting really irate, the biggest mistake we make, like I said, is we get defensive. We start saying, that's not what happened. That's not the case. You don't want to do that. So let me give you an example of with one of my clients, a little role play that I did with him, because this is what he was experiencing in his marriage. So when she comes at you and she starts saying like, "Oh, you're such a," I'm going to take a very strong example. "You're such a piece of shit." Now, it's easy that you're just going to blow up and get angry at that because that's so disrespectful, but you want to be mirroring back to her what she just said. So to mirror back, you go, "So you feel like I'm a piece of shit? I'm a piece of shit." You want to take that last part of the sentence and repeat it back as a question. And guys, intonation is so important here. "You feel like I'm a piece of shit?" Like, you want to be questioning, like as in, why would you say I'm a piece of shit? You're questioning it, right? And what this does, this elicits her to go into more detail. Usually what we do is we get defensive because that's so disrespectful. We just start fighting, right? We start fighting about that because it's so rude and disrespectful. But what you need to do, guys, is you need to dig deeper. So mirror back her statement. So let's go through this a little bit. And I'm going to role play for you guys. So, "You feel like I'm a piece of shit?" "Yeah, you only think about yourself." "You feel like I only think about myself?" "Yeah, you're never at home and you're not taking any time with the kids. I just feel completely alone." All right. So you do this 2 or 3 times. Now, from her calling you a piece of shit, you've now learned that she just really feels alone. Guys, this is incredibly powerful. I cannot overstate how so powerful this technique is. Usually we end up staying on the surface level when our wives are getting angry. When you start to mirror back and dig deeper into this, you'll find out what's really going on for her. So your wife, in this case, has told you she feels alone and that you're not around, okay? So that's where we can do something with it, right? And we move on. You only want to mirror 2 or 3 times here, guys. When you mirror using her statement, mirroring it back to her, maybe 2 or 3 times. Don't overuse it, because then she's just going to be like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" Also, I'd highly recommend practicing this a lot. If you want to practice, you should come into my marriage support group for dads. I've got a free Facebook group where we do trainings where you can practice. You'll find that, so a link to that down in the description. It's really important to practice this and practice this with other people to get good at this before taking it live and taking it live with your wife and maybe going sideways. So it's important to practice this technique a bit before you go and use it. What's really important here is also your intonation. Practice asking that question. "You feel like you're alone?" Or "You feel like I'm a piece of shit?" So listen to the way I'm saying it. It's a question and I'm not sure. Like, I'm really trying to understand. It's not like, "You feel like I'm a piece of shit?" Then you're just going to get her to blow up and you're going to get into an argument. This really needs to be curious. She needs to hear that curiosity in your voice and that uncertainty. You're trying to find out what's going on. All right. The second thing you need to do is you need to be vulnerable and speak of we. So a lot of the times, guys, when your wife is being disrespectful, it's so easy just to blow up and have a go at her. But that's not getting you anywhere. So you want to be vulnerable and so let her know that kind of hurts. So when she says this kind of stuff, I'm going to move back to that last part of the sentence where she said she felt so alone. I would be vulnerable, like, "Oh, wow, I had no idea you felt so alone." And then start speaking from we. "What happened? So what happened, Sarah? We used to be so close, and now you're calling me all these horrible names, and sounds like you feel like completely alone. Where did we go wrong?" I'm being vulnerable, and what you'll notice here, guys, is I'm getting her to do the work. You want to get your wife to be doing the work, as in answering the questions, talking more. The last thing you want to do, guys, is where you start being defensive and you're doing all the talking. You want your wife to be doing the work. You want her to talk, because this is how she feels understood, because you literally are understanding her better. It's how she feels validated. And this is how you rebuild the emotional safety. So rather than coming out at it with fire, you want to be vulnerable. So you're like, how did it get like this? So I had no idea that you felt so alone. What can we do to resolve this? Right? Speak from we. And the third step in this EMT for the tactics is, no matter how the conversation goes, guys, praise your wife. At the end of the conversation, now look, so that was a difficult conversation, but I'm glad we discussed it. It feels good to be able to address issues in our relationship. What you're doing is you're planting a seed in your wife's brain that you are now working on issues and you're moving forward in the relationship. Really, really important, guys. Now, if you found this video useful and you want to get more, because I'm covering this really fast, and literally I spend days and weeks working with my clients on perfecting this, and it is all about mastery. If you want to start communicating like a boss and you found this video valuable, then I'd highly recommend checking down in the description. I've got a 3-day training on how to attract your wife back. It's called the Alpha Attraction Challenge, where I go into detail on reclaiming your power so you feel calm and confident in arguments, and I'll go into more detail into how to communicate like a boss in a full-on hour training. So I'd highly recommend, if you found this video useful, you check down in the description and enroll in my Alpha Attraction Challenge, and that'll get this communication handled, and it'll get you to regain your power and feel more confident. All right, now at the beginning of this training, I promised you the opportunity to enroll in my free masterclass. In the free masterclass, you're going to start the healing process to start showing up as the empowered man your wife needs. You're also going to get to learn the secret to reconciling that your wife, so that no one else is talking about, and you're going to learn the 4 steps that you need to take for her to see your change. Now you can find that link down in the description. Enroll in that free masterclass today. Start making progress with your wife today, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside. And finally, if you haven't done so, I mentioned earlier, I'd like to invite you to my marriage support group for dads. This is a free Facebook group filled with a wonderful community of dads committed to avoiding divorce and reconnecting with their wife. You can find the link down in the description. Click there and join the group today. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you've got any questions at all, post them down in the comments and let me know, how is the disrespect showing up in your marriage and what have you tried so far to resolve it? Now, if you found this video useful, do me a favor, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and smash the bell button to be notified each Tuesday when I release a new video. Now, with all that being said, I look forward to seeing you on the next video.